He's praying like Jesus. And I said, bro, like, do you know you guys pray like what's? He says, of course I know, because Jesus was a Muslim. And I was like, no, come on, what do you mean? He's a Christian. He said, no. I remember going for a match. It was summer and we're driving and we're just talking. We used to talk a lot about these things and argue. And I remember he got upset and he's like, look, he's like, do you really believe that Jesus is the Son of God? Like, do you really believe he's the Son? Even though I've been asked the question many times. But that one time, I felt a doubt. I was born in 1983 in Romania, in a famous area called Transylvania. A lot of people might know it by that name. And I was born into a mixed Christian family. I mean, I was baptized in 3 churches, in the Catholic, the Orthodox, and the Unitarian Church. And my family were quite surprised that at such a young age I have such a dedication. My grandma, of course, she was very happy. She was like, you're going to be a priest. You know, you're going to be a priest. She always pushed me in the front at the altar next to a priest, and she was very happy and proud. So I became very devout and quite knowledgeable in the Bible and studying, seeing, researching. The first time I had a serious doubt was a discussion that I had with my Bosnian friend Kamal. I remember going for a match. It was summer and we're driving and we're just talking. We used to talk a lot about these things and argue. And I remember he got upset and he's like, look, he's like, do you really believe that Jesus is the Son of God? Like, do you really believe he's the Son? Even though I've been asked the question many times. But that one time, I felt a doubt. Incident because I was pushing, he was pushing. I mean, I was trying to take him away from his practice and he was trying to get me closer to God. But I remember one thing, that he never gave up salah, namaz. He would always pray. No matter where we are, it doesn't matter. It's salah time, prayer. We're like walking in downtown. We're going to dance. We're in the dance. Okay, we go outside. He said, go, time. So I would wait for him, make sure he finished so no one comes and no one bothers him. The first thing I'm seeing is, wait a second, why is he doing it? And second of all, I was observing how he's doing it. I knew these things. So somehow, even though I've seen him, I've studied it all my life, it never connected. But this day it connected. He's praying like Jesus. And I said, bro, like, do you know you guys pray like what's? He says, of course I know, because Jesus was a Muslim. And I was like, no, come on, what do you mean? He's a Christian. He said, no. How can? There's no Christian at that time. You could say in the worst case that he's a Jew, right? Because ethnically that's what they were. was like very vivid. It was very real. I felt the pain. I felt the coldness of the blade. And it's dark. And I'm like just walking between the walls. And there's the door. And I go through the door and I'm bleeding. And it's painful. And I open the door and it's dark. It's like a back alley or something, or like a garden. And I look at the sky and there's a light in that darkness. And just my soul left. First thing, I thought something happened. It's a sign. I went to look at my brother and my mom, check on them. Everyone was okay. I went back. I was crying. I was like literally like wet. Like you dipped me in a pool and like just I sweat the whole bed. I thought I went to the bathroom. Literally, it never happened to me. But I knew that I got to do something. I knew that it was like God was calling me. I remember hearing the Quran for the first time, and it was just so fascinating, so attracted to it, that I don't know what it says. I have no clue, right? I don't understand Arabic at that time. But it touched me, the recitation. And I felt when I understood Islam that it was not something new. I felt it was universal. I felt it was a continuation. I didn't feel like I'm changing. I felt like I'm adjusting. Knowing all the prophets, knowing the Old Testament, the New Testament, I felt like Islam was just the last testament. And then finally realizing that Islam is just the continuation of the same message. I was studying with some people upstairs in my house, and Kamal called me from downstairs. I'm here. I said, okay, I'm going to come down. I went downstairs. It was night. And I just looked at him. I said, he said, what's wrong, bro? Are you okay? I said, I want to be a Muslim. And he said, oh, he said, I knew it. He said, I knew it. I said, what do you mean? He's like, remember that long tarawih that we prayed together? He said, in sujood, I was praying all life. This guy is looking for you. Guide him to Islam. Let him embrace Islam. And he just said, repeat after me. I already knew what I have to say. When I said my shahad, I felt that heaviness being lifted from me. Just by saying those words, the way I slept that night was just different.